Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to be setting up Meeting Room 365 displays on managed Android devices using the Hexnode MDM platform. Now, depending on the MDM platform you choose, your steps may vary slightly. However, if you pick an MDM platform that supports either the AppConfig standard or managed configurations, your display steps are going to be pretty similar to what we go over with Hexnode. So this video should cover Android, Android Enterprise, managed Android apps, and the Hexnode MDM. So the first thing we're going to talk about is enrolling devices in Hexnode. The simplest way is you can download the Hexnode MDM app or the Hexnode for Work app onto your device, and then you'll be able to sign in to your Hexnode server either by typing it out or scanning a QR code. If you use Android Enterprise, which we do, you'll want to use the Hexnode for Work app, and you'll be able to sign in pretty much the same way. If you have a large number of devices on Android Enterprise, you might want to look into Android Zero Touch. Otherwise, you're going to have to do a little bit of setup on every tablet to get started. And if you are using Samsung devices, you can optionally look into Samsung Knox mobile enrollment. It's free. It offers a few extra features for Samsung devices, but you probably don't need it if you're already on Android Enterprise. All right, so once you enroll your devices, they will show up in Hexnode MDM. And the next step is you want to configure the Meeting Room 365 app inside Hexnode MDM. Now, there are a couple of ways you can do this. You can either do a store app. That's where you just search for Meeting Room 365 and it shows up in the store, and you select them and add them to the list here. Or you can do a managed Google app. This is specifically for Android Enterprise. You can either search from the Play Store and search for Meeting Room 365, or you can upload a private version of the APK to Google Play. This will let you manage the application, and it won't roll out updates automatically if you do this. You can download the latest version of our app from meetingroom365.com/apps. And you'll want to check for the managed version specifically. Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is create a policy for your deployment. Now, the policy basically combines a configuration for the device, some management settings, the apps that you want to pre-install on the device, and the configuration for those apps into a profile. You assign that profile to all your tablets, and it'll handle syncing those configuration changes to your devices. They give you some templates when you set up your tenant, and basically what we want to do is a single app kiosk policy. So I just went ahead and edited that. Under Android, you're going to need to set up your basic restrictions. You need to go through these and set up all of these. If you don't set up some of these, then it'll restrict your device from doing some things like installing apps. So you just want to go through these tabs and make sure you have a configuration set on some of these. Actually, just basic and advanced restrictions are the ones that I had to set up. The next one you want to do is under required apps. Add the Meeting Room 365 app. And then under app configurations, you want to add a new configuration for Meeting Room 365. They all should be pretty similar. Basically how this works is you go to the Devices tab in Meeting Room 365 admin portal, and you'll have two ways you can set this up. The simple configuration, you create a separate profile for every display, and you put the display key inside of this application profile here. But the simpler way to set it up is use a full dynamic configuration. You're going to grab the domain key and place it here inside of your configuration. And then you're going to want to send a unique identifier under display ID. Simple MDM and Hexnode, Jamf Pro, they all give you wildcards that you can use to send a unique name. I just send the device name. You can choose to send the serial number. Some MDM software supports adding a few of these, like this, but Hexnode does not. So you just send your display ID as one of these variables along with the domain key, and then you will populate a list of devices inside the devices page of Meeting Room 365. Here is my Android device that I just connected through Hexnode. I can assign a key to that device by selecting it from the drop down or entering a display key, and then it'll push that out to the device as long as the Meeting Room 365 app is running. All right. Last step. So we created a policy here. Make sure you hit save. It's all the way down here at the bottom. After you create a policy, you will have to go into your devices and assign that policy to your devices. And then, depending on your tablet device, you may have to open the Hexnode for Work or the Hexnode app on your device to actually get it to install the application. But once it's set up, you should be able to manage everything from the Hexnode portal and the Meeting Room 365 admin portal. One last note is that in your profile, you do have a few options to lock down kiosk mode for Android. They give you some help articles and instructions on how to do that. The big thing is that it varies between every manufacturer and every Android version. There are features that work up to Android 8. There's features that don't work after Android 10. There's features that only work in Android 13, 14. So you're going to have to do a little bit of reading and digging around to figure out exactly which kiosk mode features are available on your device. I will say for Android devices, pinned mode is supported on basically every flavor of Android, and most also support kiosk launcher. Kiosk mode is not very well supported across versions of Android. And if you run into issues, we do have alternate APKs that you can download to use with the Meeting Room 365 app. All right, that should be everything. It's a basic overview on how you set things up with Hexnode MDM. If you're setting up a managed Android device, your workflow should be fairly similar, although features vary from product to product. Thanks for watching.